Okay, I'm live. Just in case you're interested, I just had two videos disappear into the netherworld, and I'm not even going to try to find them anymore. I'm just going to make another one after this, sometime after this today. So I got nothing to do today. I'm just hanging out. Uh, so anyhow, we talked about oil prices, but I think the first thing we should talk about is this crisis in California, where roughly 50,000 people have been to evacuate or have evacuated due to the possibility of an explosion of a chemical tank containing a highly toxic chemical. Now, why do they build these things in proximity to residential areas? I don't know, but I guess it's hard to find. Uh, I mean, look, you go a couple of miles from my house, and you've got an oil tanker farm. So I mean, an oil tank farm. So this is situation is everywhere. Nothing you can do about it. So I guess we have to live with that time. I just think that this is kind of dangerous. You know, an oil tank explodes and you lose oil and you have pollution for a few days. Well, when something like this goes off, this explodes, it's going to destroy that area for quite a while, apparently. It would be similar to damage done by a nuclear explosion. I am a little leery of that kind of conversation, but I don't know for sure if that's what's going to the deal is or not. I just I'm scared. I want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. And I don't know whether that's a happy day or not, but it's a 3-day weekend, and everybody usually, the shore usually opens up today. It's a traditional opening day for the Jersey Shore. I've been down there on this day, and I've frozen my ass off on this day, and I've watched fog rolling in. Really can be very eerie down there this time of year. It's not, but I know a lot of people go down there and they open up their houses and everything this weekend, and it's every weekend from now on is let's get stuck in traffic for 4 hours and go down the shore. I guess if that's what you want to do, it's kind of narrow in its scope of what you can do and what you can't do. And anything you do down the shore costs you a lot of money. It's not cheap. So I don't know. Anyhow, oil prices are dropping. When they're dropping, the exchange rate lose money. Some people make money. Some people lose money. Um, it's could be a ploy by Trump get people to invest more money in the oil industry, and then when the prices go up, they unload it again and make more money and more money, more money. You have to look at what the CNN did a study on Trump in relation to his bill passing and statements that he makes and deals that are made and the price of everything and the stock market and how it's affected and the billions of dollars that he's made at our expense. He's never going to live to spend it. I know that. He knows. I don't think he knows that. I don't think he realizes it. Uh, but most of those people aren't going to live to spend that money. When you have $1 billion, you're never going to get to spend it all. If you're 20 years old, you've got $5 billion. You're not going to live to spend it all. If you spend in the rest of your life, if you spend $5 billion, you're having one hell of a party. You probably don't even remember most of it. That's just the way it. That's just the way it works. You reach a level of income where you have to be really stupid spending to have to outlive that money. If you lived comfortably in a nice house, a relatively nice house, like Keanu Reeves, he's worth a lot of money, and he lives in a small little house. Doesn't drive exotic cars. Doesn't spend a lot of money. Takes care of his family, but doesn't spend a lot of money. He's never going to go broke, and his wealth is going to outlive the country's wealth because even the country spends money on stupid shit all the time. So that's the way we do things. Let's talk a little bit about the Iranian deal. Nobody knows what it is, and apparently it doesn't cover the nuclear stuff. So either Trump's decided to give up on that shit, or there's just no deal. But like I said, he's been doing this deal, no deal for a while now, and he's been screwing with the stock market the whole time he does that, and he's making money. So he don't give a shit. He because let me tell you something. He was bad before with lack of empathy for people, you know, but now he's just destructive. He doesn't care. He will kill you to make money. He will watch you die and smile as he's making money. That's Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen. That's his sick, sick, sick fucking mind. Oh, God. How do he makes doing this so hard. Because there are a lot of things I could talk about, but this is the predominantly thing. I mean, there's always a headline or something that's either a tragic headline, or you've got like the massive chemical leak in California. Uh, you've got the stories about New Orleans sinking. That's very bad, very serious, but it's not happening tomorrow morning. You have time to try and fix it. I don't know whether we can reverse the procedures. Who knows? Maybe if we could get an artificial cloud cover for a year over the Arctic, the Antarctic and the Arctic, maybe we could restore some of that ice and restore some of the climate problems. But I doubt it. We're just too stupid. Isn't that funny? We're just too stupid. Oh boy. What else is going on? Nothing good. There's no happy news today. Usually there's a happy story someplace. I can't find it. There used to be a news segment or something that they did where it's called Happy News. I don't think they do that anymore either. Because I don't think there is any happy news anymore. I think that it's just a mess. A serious, 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 serious mess that Trump's got us into, and not just Trump. We've gotten ourselves into it. And if you look how fast everybody's jumping on the artificial intelligence bandwagon, it's because they don't want to think. They just want to make money. They don't want to have to think. They don't want to have to work. They're going to let artificial intelligence do all of it for it, make all its stock deals for them and everything else. They don't want to have to think. They just want to, and I'm sure they'll do an automated counting system, so that they don't have to count. And what employers like about artificial intelligence and robotics and whatnot is that they don't have to pay anybody. I learned a long time ago when I was working in a commissary style kitchen at AT&T for a firm. I was working for a company that ran this kitchen, and what happened is they laid off a couple 100,000 people or something like that. And basically, everybody in the building I was in was laid off. They were fired. They were gone. The next thing you know, you turn around days later, they're in the process of hiring these people back in the on consulting contracts. What happens was these people lose all their benefits, no sick time anymore, no health insurance or anything like that, and AT&T is saving billions of dollars, and they still got the people. They're they'll pay these guys if they were paying them $10,000, they'll pay them $20,000 a month, and still save money. And they don't have, because they don't have to pay a whole department. What do they call it? The one that takes care of all the uh, humanitarian stuff, the retirement plans, and everything like that. They don't need that department anymore because they don't have a department. They don't have a retirement plan anymore. And the deal with these people is they only pay them when they need them. And that was part of the problem with some of these people, that these people had nothing to do for 6, 7 months at a time because there was nothing, their department wasn't doing anything. There was no innovation or anything like that going on. And these people are just sitting around, doing crossword puzzles. And that's true. It's not a joke. That's why, that's why they love it. That's why they love artificial intelligence, because there's no salaries and these are going to be. And the problem with this is they're going to make them self healing, self maintaining, and that's not a good thing either, because you can lose control of a machine very fast that way, especially one that's thinking. All right. It took them a long time to reach this point. From the time they developed the learning chip to the point they are right now was about from the 78, say 1980. It's about that's 46 years ago. They developed this chip, and it took this long for the chip to reach a point where it's now more. What it sounds like, it's more in control than humans are. You know, scary shit, man. So listen, everybody. Uh, I'm still working. You don't have to worry about my videos disappearing, I don't think. What happens with it's basically on my end. When I watch videos, I get commercials in them now and whatnot, and ads showing up all over the place for shit I don't want and shit I don't need and shit I'll never buy. If I could buy it, the credit card would be good. And the credit cards, they're not accepting my credit card, so I'm not buying any of the crap they're advertising. So they lost both ways, so they haven't lost me here yet. This is still working, and I'm still happy. But I would love to have you subscribe to my videos. You'll see another ordinary video posted later on. I'm gonna go make lunch and everything now, though. My wife is at the doctor today. I don't know whether I told anybody that in the other video. She's getting an evaluation that will determine whether they put her in the hospital for a month or what kind of treatment they're going to go forward with. And you know how I am going to survive will come after that. We'll have arguments about who I want to be around me and who I don't, because I'm not going to have certain people around me and deal with the bullshit that I don't want to deal with. Have you ever watched a timer? Like, I watch the one here when I'm working, and you suddenly realize a minute's a long time. You can accomplish a lot in a minute. You can actually move. You can actually accomplish a lot in a second. It's not as fast as you think it is. I don't know whether I look at it that way because I'm getting older now or what, but a minute's a long time. And I never realized that before. You count seconds and it's ridiculous. Well, anyhow, listen, guys and girls, go hit the subscribe button. It does me a world of good. It doesn't cost you anything, and I don't make any money right at the moment. By the time I'm at a level where I can make money, I will probably be dead at least 5 years. So, I know. You guys take care. I will see you tomorrow, alive and kicking.